welcome to the Plant-Based Revolution podcast with your host, myself, Neil Damrell from My Lifestyle Coach. Thank you very much for joining me again this week, and really appreciate you taking your time out to listen to me every week, and thanks for all the feedback, and really appreciate all the listeners that have been tuning in over the last few weeks, and looking forward to hearing your opinions on the show, if you'd like to any more guests on the show, and hopefully you're finding what topics we're talking about useful and beneficial for you in terms of your own health and fitness journey, especially adopting more of a plant-based diet. So today's episode, we're going to jump straight into it, and we're going to talk today about how to plan your meals to make them healthy. So a lot of people struggle in terms of what they need to think about when it comes to having a healthy meal and what things they should include, and a lot of time it can be quite confusing because we tend to over analyze and overcomplicate things. So more often than not, healthy eating plans are broken down when they are over the short term. So if you've done any extreme diet, you'll tend to succeed well for a short period of time but struggle in the long run to maintain it. So developing some form of routine that will ease you into your transition into a healthy eating plan, as well as making sure that you don't just grab anything or anything on the run, is important. So hopefully today we're going to go through some helpful tips that you can apply to your meal planning to help you eat healthy and lose weight and sort of maintain that in the future, so it won't feel like you're ever on a diet. You're just eating consistently and planning your meals in advance. So here are some tips to help ensure that your food choices are not made without proper planning and consideration of what you're eating. So first of all, think about what you want to eat in the week ahead. So for me, I kind of try and plan my meals. My breakfast is very similar, pretty much daily. I'll recently made some healthy flapjacks. I know I've got a little snack on the go, and I may make like a pasta bake or something that can last me the week, and I might choose a different recipe every week, maybe a curry next week, for example, that I can use, and that will be my dinner or lunch every day, depending where I am, and it takes away all the stress of me having to worry about preparing food if I get in late from work, or if I want to go to the gym, it allows me to go to the gym straight after work without the stress of having to come in when I'm tired and cook a healthy meal. So my advice is that decide on some healthy meals that you really find delicious, or some new dishes that you want to try. So get ideas from different recipes, from books, magazines. There's loads on the web these days online. You can look up any healthy recipes, plant-based recipes, to get inspired. There's a few on my blog as well, so head over to mylifestylecoach.uk. There should be a few recipes on there that I've posted recently in the past that you could try. Try and be adventurous and try something new, and go through the cupboards and fridge and see what you can do, and be creative. So if you've got things lying around, try and reduce waste by using up what you got in the fridge first of all, and then go shopping and get creative. My advice is to buy what you're going to need for that recipe rather than over buying, so you're keeping your cupboards bare most of the time. So if I was making a chilli, I'll get everything I need for the chilli. That'll be all the vegetables, and everything will go in, so everything's cooked up, freezed, all got my meals ready to go, and then if I need to make another recipe, I'll do that once all that food's gone, rather than having a surplus amount of food that potentially could go to waste. And you want to reduce as much waste. That'll help save you money, but also protect the environment as well, because you're not just wasting food. So another tip is to write a menu. So now there's some planning involved. So what the recipes you've chosen, sketch out a weekly plan, decide on what dishes you're going to eat on which days, and think about the days that you particularly push for time, and choose something to prepare that will fit easily into your time frame without too much hassle. So for me, a little pasta bake is really good that I can take to work with me, which I can have cold, or if they do have access to a microwave, I can use that. When I get home, something I can just whack in the microwave. A chili with some rice is very easy. You can freeze rice, you can put that straight in the microwave, and you got a ready meal in 5 to 10 minutes. So something that you can have as soon as you get in. I tend to have something that's freezable, so all I have to do is put it in the microwave when I come home for the evening. So if I'm pushed for time, even if I get in quite late, it doesn't take me long to have my meal, rather than having to, if I get in at 8 o'clock, I can still have my meal before 9 o'clock, without having to spend an hour preparing food before I can eat it. So my advice is get something that's freezable, or cook something that's freezable. Most things are, or even if they're not freezable, they'll probably be okay if you keep them in the fridge for maybe 2 or 3 days, and have the same meal over the 2 or 3 days. They should keep their freshness and be fine. So think about those options rather than thinking about anything that's too adventurous, and you have to spend a bit of time planning and preparing food when you get in. Another good tip as well is to display your menu. I know a few friends and colleagues and clients have done this. So when you're done, display the menu, put it somewhere where you can easily see it, like on a fridge or kitchen cupboard, and this will help to serve and inspire you, so you're less likely to grab a less healthy snack when your prospective a lovely nutritious meal is written out in front of you. And also, with any luck, someone who is at home before you might start preparing it for you. So if you know you've got a partner and we're going to have this on this certain day, so like maybe meat-free Mondays, you're going to make a vegetarian meal. It's a great way of getting in more vegetables to your diet, and also it's going to be another way of increasing the plant-based meals in your diet overall and protecting the environment and getting you healthy. So try and make Monday a meat-free day, and you can prepare a different meat-free dish every Monday. And you can also go to Meat-Free Mondays online, and there's loads of recipes on there where you can be inspired to try something different each week if you're looking to make your plant-based diet a bit more adventurous, and just try a few new recipes to excite the taste buds. So yeah, preparing what you got at home, make sure everyone else is on board, and everybody's on the same page, so you know what you're going to be cooking each week and preparing it ahead of time. It goes without saying that you need to make a list of ingredients. So with your weekly menu, decide on what you need to do and what you need to make on your shopping list, and all those extra ingredients, things that you need. So this may seem obvious, but this needs to be a defined list. Because if it's not on the list, you don't buy it, and simple as that. And what you tend to find, if you haven't got it down, you probably forget it, or you might go off the list and buy stuff that you don't need. And try and not divert away from this at all, because this is a great way of avoiding any tempting treats sneaking into your trolley when you're seeking something while you're going shopping. So stick to the list, help stick to a budget as well, help you keep your accounts in order, and also if you don't buy it, you're not going to eat it. So avoid you buying any of those unhealthy treats that could be ruining your diet if you're just looking at all the offers all the time, every time you go shopping. So when you go shopping, get everything on your list, and like I said, don't stray from it. Obviously, if you're shopping for a family or others, it may be extras that you need to buy. A little tip to help you though is to choose family treats that are not your favourite, so you're less likely to stray onto them. So and also, why not look at getting everyone involved in the healthy eating plan as well? So if the kids, it's going to be healthy for the kids as well if you're not buying sweets for them, and if they're all involved, they understand that it's all for the benefit of the family, that you're going to be having healthy treats like fruit and vegetables around the house rather than biscuits and cakes. Now with fridge and cupboard stocked, it's time to arm your daily meal and you're ready for the week ahead. So here are some hints and tips how to pack your lunch and prepare your meals ahead of time. So if you're out during the day, get into the habit of having a packed lunch. I'm always out and about, so I've got to eat lunch on the run. So make sure I prepare my lunch the day before. If I'm cooking dinner, I'll prepare my lunch the same night as well. So I'm making 2 meals at once, and that's going to help me prepare and have a healthy meal wherever I am. A lot of time there's not always any access to food, so I just have to make sure I take my own food with me. And this will also help curb unhealthy choices that sometimes often around you. So if you're rushed, you might nip out to the local supermarket and get a meal deal. And generally, if you're not thinking about things, you're going to be probably having the unhealthy meals as opposed to the healthy choices. So where possible as well, you want to plan your meals ahead. So like I said, prepare, as I said in the last one, prepare for the next day, the night before, or even a few days in advance as well. So even if you're tired and there's a bit of time, you're probably making tea, and while you're enjoying your tea, you can have the other meal being prepared. As easy as boiling some rice and chucking in some vegetables with a little bit of mayo. That's what I do. If it's quick and easy, and I know I've got something healthy, affordable and cheap that I can eat the next day, rather than having to spend loads of money on rubbish packaged foods. Also, think about having an emergency snack box. So a lot of time when you're tired, you're going to reach for a quick fix, and more often than not, this is going to be the unhealthy options like cookies, biscuits, and most offices will be laden with cookies and biscuits. So having a snack box that can stop your cravings will help. So think about healthy snacks like raw vegetables, like carrots, celery, that you can dip into hummus. Look at other healthy options like some fruit as well. So really good option is take loads of fruit to work with you. So you've got fruit on hand, a little fruit box that everyone can snack on, rather than having biscuits around you, like a handful of grapes or berries or apples. And also look at some nuts and seeds, unsalted cashew nuts, dried fruit are also good sources of nutrition, and also high in good fats, which are going to help improve your cholesterol as well. So think about those options, buy them ahead of time so you can take them to work with you, keep them in your snack drawer. So if you are tempted for a snack, at least you've got a healthy option on hand, rather than being tempted by all the unhealthy biscuits and cakes that generally surround most offices, which I visit daily. If you're going for a meal out, then this is what you need to do before you go to a restaurant. Have some sort of plan, and maybe look for the healthier alternatives. So a glass of wine or two is fine, but think about the extra calories. So if you have a firm idea before you go what you're going to order, then you're less likely to stray. So maybe these days you can look up online, you can see what you're going to have in terms of what's available on your menu, and just try and go for at least a good side salad or starter to start with. And generally speaking, if it hasn't got loads and loads of cheese on it, I always feel the vegetarian meal is the healthiest probably meal on the menu. Or if you're going to have any meat, maybe just try and go for a meat dish with some good sized salad. And you can still eat out and enjoy a nice social time eating out, but it's not going to ruin your diet. And most importantly, it's going to help you maintain your routine, and you're going to reap the benefits going forward later down the line. So if you're going out and eating out quite a bit, a lot of people I speak to tend to eat out a lot with work, going to business meetings. So if you can get into the habit of choosing those healthier options, then it's not going to be to a detriment of your health. It's going to be going to help you going forward, rather than just picking and treating yourself to rich meals all the time, because eventually that's going to catch up with you, likely to lead to weight gain, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and also trying to avoid the alcohol as well. If you are going out quite often, yes, the alcohol here and there is going to be a good treat for you, but if you're having it weekly and consuming high amounts of units throughout the week, then you're likely to increase those extra calories through alcohol, and alcohol is just pure fat, so you're likely to engage or increase the calories and the fat in your diet, which is not going to be healthy for you in the long run. So hopefully those tips have been helpful for you. I've come to the end of those tips today. This is a little short, brief episode today, but hopefully those little tips can be of benefit to you. And I think the key thing is with anything is just to prepare. And they say if you fail to prepare, you plan to fail. So my advice is just take one day a week that you maybe have a bit of time to spend in the kitchen. For me, maybe the weekends, or if I get a day off in the week, then I'll spend maybe a couple of hours cooking a couple of dishes, which will be my dinner and lunch for the week. Breakfast is quite easy to prepare for myself in the mornings, and I'll probably make a few flapjacks or something that I can have as a snack as well. It's takes away the stress of me having to think about what meals I'm going to have every week. allows me to go to the gym after work. Even if I get in late, I can get in a little workout, come home, and my meal's all ready to go. 5 minutes in the microwave takes away the stress of that. It allows me to exercise. There's no excuse that I've got to go home and cook tea. And yes, you might be eating similar foods, but ultimately you're going to save time, you're going to save money, and also you're going to have more time to do the things that you want to do, like exercise, spend time with the family, and even you have time to go out and enjoy yourself as well. So think about how you can use a bit more time to prepare your food. So yes, you are taking up maybe 2 or 3 hours of one day, maybe at the weekend, to prepare all your meals. And I'm sure you do it, the more often you do it, the quicker you'll get at preparing those meals. And those 2 hours, just the weekend, is definitely going to save you 5-6 hours or more during the week, especially if you came in every night and prepared a different meal every night of the week. And that took you an hour or so. You're definitely going to reap the benefits in terms of time saved going forward in the future. So hopefully that's been helpful for you guys. Thank you very much again for listening, and if you've got any questions about this episode, or you want any more tips, then feel free to get in touch with myself. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook at My Lifestyle Coach, and thank you very much again, and we'll see you next time. Hello and welcome to the Plant-Based Revolution podcast with your host, myself, Neil Damrell from My Lifestyle Coach. Thank you very much for joining me again this week on the podcast, and hope you're enjoying the show so far and you're enjoying the shows that I've had previously in the past. Really appreciate you tuning in every week. And today's episode, just going to discuss 5 ways to beat that afternoon slump. So as a health professional, I provide health assessments for companies, or I work for a company providing health assessments within the UK, and we go into businesses and we try and improve their productivity, so they're more efficient at work, less sickness rates, by providing health assessments, on-site health assessments, but also providing workshops to help people apply strategies to be healthier at work, less sick days, and be more productive. So one of the key factors that we all probably experience, myself included, is that afternoon slump. So how many times in the day do you find that you're reaching for that quick fix around 3 o'clock just to get you through to the end of the day? Maybe that's a chocolate bar or another coffee, just to kind of pep you up and get you through the last few hours of the day. So what we're just going to discuss today is how you can avoid that, what ways, what strategies you can apply to minimise that as possible, and resist the urge to grab a quick fix like a chocolate bar or whatever biscuit or cake is in the office to try and help you stay healthier. And it's not going to ruin your diet by reaching for those quick fixes. You're going to apply the right strategy, so you're not going to have that afternoon slump, and you're going to feel fitter and stronger and much more energized throughout the day. So here are the 5 ways to beat that afternoon slump. Here's the ability to maximize your chances of staying alert during the afternoon with these 5 tips for beating that afternoon slump, so you and your boss will thank you. So generally, do you ever get that feeling at work when lunch seems like a lifetime ago, and as the clock ticks around about 3:30, you're struggling to complete even the most basic of tasks? So we've all been there. You get brain fog and you feel you can't really be as efficient as you normally like to be. Generally, we all are much more efficient generally in the mornings, myself included. So the afternoon slump, normally you're feeling sleepy around 2 or 3 o'clock. Some people think it's part of our natural cycle. That's physical, mental, and behaviour changes that can follow our daily cycle. So yeah, there are ways to overcome the slump. So here are the 5 ways to do so. So number 1 will be start your day right. So mid-afternoon, your slump could be down to what you got up to that morning. So if you didn't make time for breakfast, you're more likely to feel sleepy during the later stages of your working day. So make sure you have a good breakfast full of protein and whole grains, scrambled eggs, whole grain toast, porridge with almonds and walnuts, fresh fruit, smoothie, all those kind of things. Slow releasing carbohydrates generally with some good protein will help provide that sustained energy release throughout the morning. So if you don't have much time in the morning or you don't feel like you're eating first thing, you can always have your breakfast on the move, such as a whole grain bagel filled with salmon, or a peanut butter bagel with banana, natural yogurt with honey and almonds. So if breakfast is first thing in the morning is something that you cannot stomach, I know a lot of people I've spoken to before struggle to do so. So just think about how you can have your breakfast when you get to work, maybe a few hours after waking up, so it's more of your kind of mid-morning sort of brunch time rather than first thing in the morning. That should help. You might have your lunch later in the day because you've had breakfast later in the morning, but at least you're going to start your day right rather than just trying to suffer until lunchtime. So number 2, so cut down on your carb intake. So carbs and fats can fuel your afternoon slump. So if you say love fries or chips or sandwiches, then your energy levels will generally going to plummet mid-afternoon. So you don't necessarily need to cut down on your carbohydrates and fats altogether. Simply reduce your portions, eat more of a fist-sized helping of carbohydrates, and limit your fat intake. So fat takes a long time to digest and generally leaves you feeling overfull and consequently rather than feeling sluggish. Basically, if you've ever had those kind of big meals, especially fast food where it's high in fat, high in salt, yes, you'll feel full, but after a while you feel overfull. It's like having that roast dinner on a Sunday afternoon and all you do is sit down and just feel like you're falling asleep because it's too much fat, too much carbohydrates, and your body needs all that energy to digest that food, so you're going to feel sluggish. So try and think if you can have more of a salad with some egg, turkey, or vegetarian chickpeas. So you're having less carbohydrates throughout your lunch break. So also include more whole wheat pasta or rice served with the salad, so you can still have the carbohydrates within that salad, but just like I said, a fist size amount, so a smaller amount. So think of your carbohydrates as fuel. You don't need as much as you think you do, especially if you're at a desk all day. So because you're not getting up and using that energy, so if you had, for example, a big pasta salad, load of pasta, and then you're going out running and cycling, you're going to burn that energy up, you're going to be energized, you're not going to feel sluggish. But if you had that and then you just go and sit down for the rest of the afternoon, likelihood is you're going to feel sluggish and tired, and energy level is going to drop because you just overconsumed. Your body doesn't need that amount of carbohydrates. So so just cut down. Fist size amount is enough for you, especially at lunchtimes. Tip number 3 would be try and take a break. So breaks are important. Loads of people these days, I don't know if it applies to you, but how many of you do eat at your desk? Have your lunch at your desk, have your snacks at your desk. You never leave the desk, and I feel like you never get the chance to actually switch off because you're always eating and working at the same time. So it's important to really take that break. Take a lunch break, go outside, go for a walk, have your lunch somewhere away from your normal office environment, desk environment. If you're having a break, try and have a break between 5 and 15 minutes. This studies have shown that this can help. Regular breaks can help improve your productivity at work and also help combat that afternoon slump. So, like I said, if you can, get up and walk around at least every hour throughout the day. Take a break, do a few stretches, deep breaths. Reinvigorate the body because you've been sat down, you've been tired or sluggish. Your body's not moving. Your body's designed to move. So the more you can get up and move, that's going to re-energize you throughout the day by taking these regular breaks, and especially trying to think about if you're going to have your lunch, try and have it away from your desk. So, and snacks as well. Go and have go in the canteen, sit down, take a break, rest your eyes, or if the weather's good, definitely try and go for a walk and sit outside, get some vitamin D. Especially if you're sat inside all day, you need some vitamin D. So as much sunlight as you can throughout any time of the year, as much as possible. So number 4, so grab a drink. So a lot of people will be reaching for the coffee and tea, but generally this is probably one of the worst things you want to do. Coffee and tea is okay, but you want to be thinking about hydrating yourself with water. And a lot of time people forget to drink generally. So you might, yes, go and have a coffee and tea, but you need to be hydrated throughout the day. So a lot of time dehydration can make you feel tired. So when you feel that yawn or you're feeling like you're a bit fuzzy in the head, then think about if you can grab some fresh cold water. If you don't like fresh water, maybe add some lemon juice to it or some fruit just to get a bit of flavour. If you're drinking little and often throughout the day, generally you're going to feel more energised throughout the day as opposed to if you are not drinking enough. So when I do travel quite a bit, if I'm driving, I always have at least 2 bottles of water in my car so I can keep drinking while I'm driving. That keeps me energised, hydrated, and forces me to stop as well to go to the loo, but that's also a nice break from driving, re-energise, get a bit of fresh air, walk around. So same thing when you're sat at your desk. Drink little and often enough to guzzle down 2 litres of water a day. Just drink little and often throughout the day, making sure you're looking at your hydration levels by monitoring your urine levels. So when you go to the loo, just make sure you have a pale yellow urine. If they're darker than that, then you want to go away and have at least a glass or 2 of water, and try and drink a glass every hour or two, that should help keep you energised and hydrated throughout the day without guzzling loads of water. So sip little and often is much better than drinking loads in one go. So hydration is key. Number 5, so use your head. So think about, afternoons coming around, think about your slump is going to maybe strike. So the last thing you want to do is engage your brain. So, if you've got hard tasks to do, take a quick break, like I said, but think about fun, quick tasks that can, just give your brain a little bit more boost. So crosswords, puzzles, those kind of things, you can do on your phone, can help beat the slump because it just takes away your thought process of what you're trying to do. So, how many times have we been sat, trying to write something or doing some work and you just got brain freeze, you cannot think of anything to do. So by changing your thought process in terms of what the mind needs to do, that's why exercise I think is so good. Going on to maybe a phone and doing some crosswords takes your mind off what you need to do, and then your brain's going to be re-energized and you can come back 5 minutes later or so, and that re-engage your brain, and concentrating levels will increase, and that can refocus you to the task that you're trying to do beforehand. So that's why I think exercise as well is an amazing tool. When I've been really studying hard when I was at uni, if I was tired from studying and I couldn't think of what else to write, I'd be like, I'm just going to go out for a run, even if it was 15 minutes, take a break, and ideas would flow to my head while I was exercising, and then I'll come back and be like, I could crack on and have a load of more ideas of how to expand on what I was working on at the time. So it's important to take that break. Like I said, crosswords, puzzles, little stuff to try and re-engage the brain in a different environment. If you don't want to do that, definitely think about some exercise or some movement. Just go out for a quick walk, power walk, just re-engage the brain, take away, switch off for 5 minutes. It's not going to be another hour lunch or anything like that. It's just going to be a quick freshener of the brain, and then we're ready to go. Because generally the brain is only really good concentration levels for maybe 1 or 2 hours. So when you're at uni, if you ever experienced it like I have, you're in lectures for sometimes 3-4 hours, you're like, your brain is going to lose focus. So short pieces of information our brain can handle and we can absorb, but big pieces of information over a long period of time we tend to lose track. So think about how you can break your task down into small chunks, and that should help you engage your brain more efficiently and also provide you with the less chance of having that like slump in the afternoon where your kind of brain shutting down, body shutting down, and it's a real struggle to get you through the end of the day. So key breaks, as before, break from your mind is just important as a body as well. So there you go. So they are my 5 ways to beat the afternoon slump. I'm just going to quickly review each one again. So number 1, start right, goes without saying, have a good breakfast. Number 2, cut down on your carbohydrate intake. So too many carbohydrates is going to provide you with feeling over full and sluggish. So fist size amount of carbohydrates for your lunch. Take a break. Make sure you have regular breaks from your desk every hour. Try and get up, have a walk around as well. The more movement you can incorporate in the day, more energized you're going to be as well. I've recently had a standing desk for the last 3 or 4 months, and I feel more energized than I've ever felt at work because I've been stood up all day rather than sat down. So standing desk is another key factor if you're looking to get more engaged, and definitely will help improve your productivity by being stood up all day as well. Keep hydrated, keep drinking plenty of water throughout the day, little and often. Don't have to guzzle loads, just little sips throughout the day, maybe a glass every hour. And like I said, just rest the brain. If you're getting stuck on any task, then take yourself away from the task, re-engage your brain in something that's more fun, sort of crossword, puzzles, etc., or go for a walk, and then re-energize. Sort of 5-10 minutes later, come back to the task in hand. So hopefully those tips have been helpful for you. 5 ways to beat the afternoon slump. We all experience them. If you do apply these, then let me know. I'd love to hear how you're getting on with them. Have they improved your productivity at work and you're feeling more energized? I'd love to hear from you. And hopefully those tips have been helpful. If you did enjoy those tips and you found them useful, then please feel to like and share this podcast with people that you feel could benefit from it as well. And we'll see you next time on the Plant Revolution podcast.